Hi everyone, this is Vi from Sparkling Faces, and today I'm going to be doing a little tutorial on teardrops, swirls, and swirls. Okay, first I'm going to be loading my brush, and all you basically want to do is dip your brush in water and swirl your brush in the paint, and you just want to coat the brush. You don't want chunks of paint on your brush. You just want to lightly coat it, okay? Now, if your brush is too runny, all you have to do is swirl it some more on the paint, and hopefully it'll soak up some of that water. If your paint is too, or if your brush is too dry, just dip your paintbrush in water and, swirl it around a little bit. Okay, so now the way I make teardrops is I press the brush down, and then I pull, and I lift up. Okay, so all you do is press down, pull, and lift up. Okay, now another way that people make teardrops is they start with the point end first, and what you do is only put the tip of the brush down. Okay, and as you pull it across, you're going to lay the brush down on the face. Okay, so lightly put the point on the face, pull across, and then press your brush down. Okay, both ways work pretty well. I use both ways, but I use the first way a lot more. One of the other ways that I've heard people do teardrops is they press the brush down, and as they're pulling, they swirl the brush in their hands, okay, and that gives you a nice point. That's actually really hard to do. I don't know. I can't do it. If it works for you, great. Keep going. But it doesn't work for me. Alright? It takes, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, don't ask. I'm not going to teach you that way because I can't really do it myself. So these are the two different ways for you to make teardrops, and we're just going to go through them again. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have paint on my brush. Okay, so all you do is press down, pull, and lift up. Press down, pull, and lift up. Okay, and we're going to do the other way. And what you do is lightly put the brush on the face, pull, and press down. Lightly put the brush on the face, pull, and press down. Okay? Now, for those of you who have a hard time making swirls, I actually found a pretty easy way to make swirls, and I don't know, I'm kind of clumsy, so the second way of doing teardrops I'm actually not very good at because I have a really shaky hand. So when I'm trying to make that tiny little point, I tend to mess up a lot. So the first way is a lot easier for me, and I use that technique when making swirls. Okay, and all I do is I put a teardrop into the eye like that, and then you lay your brush down back on the fat part of the teardrop, and then you swirl it. Okay, so that was really easy. All you do is make a teardrop into the eye, lay your brush on the fat part, and swirl it around. And that gives you a nice point on both sides of your swirl. Okay, so if you have a hard time making swirls, try doing it like that. Maybe that'll help you out a little bit. Okay, now one of the other things that I use a lot in my mask, I don't know what it's called, I call them spikes, but they're really easy to do. And all you do is you make a teardrop, okay, and then you lay your brush down back on the fat part, and then you flick up. So, okay, just like that. Okay? Alright, now common mistakes. I'm going to see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to make a teardrop and I press my brush down and I pull it out. You see how it's really fuzzy right there? Okay, that's because the brush is too dry. Okay, so if you get a really fuzzy end like that, and it doesn't matter what, you know, size teardrop you're trying to make, if you get a fuzzy end, it's because your brush is too dry. Okay, so what you want to do is just wet your brush a little bit more, swirl it around, evenly coat it, okay, and then make your teardrop again. Okay, now if your brush is too wet, okay, let me see if I can do it. I know I over wet my brush a lot whenever I'm in a hurry, and it's horrible. But basically my brush is too wet. You can actually even see the bead of paint coming off on it, okay, and when you press it on the face, it does that. Okay, so don't over wet your brush. It's a lot better to I guess have a dry brush than it is to have a wet brush, because like this, I can't fix that. Well, I can, but you know, when you're in a hurry, you don't have time to fix a whole bunch of runny teardrops, especially if you have more than one runny teardrop. But whereas if your brush is too dry, you can just wet your brush and then go back over it and then just fix your teardrops. Okay, so practice, and I wouldn't, for people who have a problem with a really runny paint, I wouldn't practice on your hand, because when you practice on your hand is level, so you can see the pool of paint, but it doesn't actually run, so you're continually practicing having really runny paint. Whereas when you practice on your face in front of a mirror, as you can see, that one ran right away. You know, it helps you learn a little bit better not to have a really, really wet brush. So, so that is my quick video on making teardrops and swirls. Hopefully it helped you. I know I'm not the greatest teacher. I'm not really good with words. So, yeah. Alright, hopefully it helped you out a little bit. And if not, I'm sorry.